Thank you. All right, guys, welcome back to another one. We're going to jump into this one real quick. We have Bobby G's Cummins back in here. His starter took a crap on him, and our friends over at Gino's Garage hooked us up. And my lovely wife is going to show us how to install the new parts. She actually did her truck, Sally the 6-speed, and she actually also did my Duramax Lola, which I should have gotten a video on, but I didn't. Kind of a ball drop there, but anyway, let's we're gonna jump into this, and she's gonna explain why we do this, or why we're replacing the parts that we are, rather than just getting a new starter. So you pick where you want to get set up, sweetheart, and we'll go from there. All right, why don't you walk us through here some of the parts that you got first.
All right. First off, for rebuilding a starter solenoid, you're going to want the brand new plunger and 2 brand new contacts. Contacts are usually what wear out first. These usually inside right here actually grind down to nothing after so long. And when actually you get a reman, this is the one component that most commonly is never replaced. Usually all they ever do with a reman is the motor, and then they slam everything back together.
All right, so where are we starting here?
Your starter solenoid is on this side. Dead giveaway is this part right here. Is right underneath this is where your solenoid actually is going to sit with the plunger. Now, please do be careful when you are removing this. There are moving components underneath where your plunger are at. You do not want to lose the tiny balls that are going to come out.
Those are also 8mm.
Alright, now when you do this, please tip this up. You don't, like I said, you don't want to lose any of those components that are sitting underneath your solenoid. There are little tiny balls that do run underneath that. If you do tilt it up enough, you will lose all those components. That's burnt.
The snake?
Yep, that's burnt. Alright.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Here's the old solenoid.
Down.
You can see most of that is actually burnt at the tip.
Just the tip?
Your copper component right here, which is actually where your starter solenoid makes contacts with your other parts on the side. That's also very burnt. This is very common. And if you can look inside there, there's a spring right here. This is why I say be very careful pulling everything apart. There are stuff underneath there that you do not want coming out. And your contacts sit right here.
Oh,
if you can see, these are actually significantly smaller than what these are that are going back in. That is why we buy a Gino's rebuild kit. It'll actually survive and make your starter last longer. So first, we're going to pop this solenoid. Actually, we're going to leave the plunger back. We're going to take the contacts out and replace them. Very carefully, try not to tilt the starter as best as possible. So we're going to remove this nut over here.
All right, so we're going to actually tear this down real quick, and then we're going to catch back up with you guys, so that way she can kind of... You're not going to be able to see us anyway, just because we're going to be in the way, but we'll catch back up with you here in just a minute. All right, guys, this is pretty ugly. Actually, this starter has been remanned already, and so here's it looks like they did replace the contact on the left, but not the one on the right.
You see, this is really ground down.
That sucker's burnt.
Huge, large, really, really super thin. So
Yep.
it's a no-brainer why it's not making contact anymore.
So what we're going to do is make sure that you guys pay attention to the orientation of the way that these pieces in here come out. And Take your time with it. Pop them out. Take them out nice and slow. Lay them out like what? Well, we laid this out so you guys could see what was going on. But lay it out so that way you can see what it is that you're doing. We're going to clean this up actually a little bit in here. We're going to slam this thing back together.
This plastic piece right here on this side does not come off. Take the actual nut off inside. You will fit a socket in there enough to get the nut off. So do not try to remove that.
Yep, leave that on there. This little guy, this little grommet, this one here does on this side.
But do remove it by just the nut. Don't try to force that off.
Yeah, it's squeezed in there between two pieces of hardware. So, but anyway, we're gonna set you back down. We're gonna slam dog this thing back together. She's gonna work her beautiful magic that she does, and then we'll show you guys the finished product. So we're right back. I made it sound like for a TV show. Alright guys, starter is in, everything's hooked back up. You ready to test the fruits of your labor?
Absolutely.
Hop in. I just want you to know that if this doesn't work, your PhD in starters is gone. Really? All right, day number 2. Back at it again with the Cummins. Long story short, yesterday you guys saw us try to start this after replacing the plunger and the contacts. Truck didn't start. So to keep this video from being an hour and whatever long, we did some quick troubleshooting. We switched around all the fuses, and we switched around all the relays. Nothing. We took this wire right here sits right off the side of the fuse box, and this actually follows down the loom and goes down to the starter relay. And we hot wired that directly to the battery. So basically we jumped the starter and nothing happened. Just to make sure that it was junk, I took it down to O'Reilly Auto Parts last night and I had them test it, and the thing failed miserably. However, the plunger and all that, the solenoid, when I had direct power to it, it did what it was supposed to. So the motor itself on the starter is bad. So we're waiting for Bobby G to show up either with a starter or what it is that he wants to do. And in the meantime, because I refuse to let the day go to waste, we're going to get all this stuff cleaned up and organized, because that sweet little thing over there is going back in her home. But that's not going to be until the next video. So I'm going to catch back up with you guys when we have a starter or we come up with a verdict. So you could either see this video before or after that goes in. So, all right, guys, we got our reman starter in. We got our plunger here from Geno's that we're going to save, set off to the side. I did put the Geno's, I can't remember what they're called now. But anyway, this is the stock one, or the replacement one that they put in the reman starters. And this is the one you get from Geno's. So they have a big one on one side and they have the small one on the other side. So it sits like this. And we just went ahead and put our Geno's one in there. That way they're even all across the board. Got it in. We started it up. It works great. So Dom, sweetie, I love you. If you're watching this, which you should be. I guess you get to keep your crown and your PhD and starter rebuild because that was not on you. So, but anyway, that's the end of that. I'll throw a clip in here of it running. And that's it, because now we're going to jump into getting this thing going. But y'all are going to have to wait because that's a whole nother video. So thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. Comment, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. Take care. Now I'm going to salt your face. Words. Very much.